Hey, this is Mark Hildreth, the voice of Hero Yui, and you're watching Pencil Knights.
Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of the Wing Zero custom build. Thank you guys for joining me, and now let's pick up where we left off at. Starting with the head, we're going to add different size LEDs so that we can properly illuminate it. The best part about the head unit is that Bandai already engineered the head to accommodate LEDs, so there's enough hollowed out space as well as areas for the wire to safely travel through. So adding the LEDs for the head will be pretty much just a walk in the park. For the blade antenna, we're going to do something different this time around. Starting out, we're going to go and recast the entire part in resin. This will make it sturdy so that if the model falls, hypothetically, falls over, worst case scenario, you scratch the paint off the blade antenna versus the blade antenna breaking. And with just a little bit of sanding and paint, you can't even tell the blade antennas apart from the original to the recasted one. I'm pretty happy with how this came out. So we can't use the torso piece. I mean, the rubber flexibility is a cool gimmick to have, but we can't paint this. I mean, as you can see, the paint just cracks off, which now creates a bit of a problem. However, we can solve it, and it comes in the form of 3D printing. So let's get started. This time around, it didn't take as many prints to get this part right, but it was a nightmare with just the measurements, just trying to figure out the size of everything. I mean, from the inside to the outside, it was some work to say the least. Before you can see the evolution of how the torso started and how it ended. Initially, I wanted to have it as a two-part piece that combined together, but that presented a different set of problems. And so I just kind of went with how the original piece was designed, which was just one part instead. Now for me, this was my favorite part about this build, and that was recreating the Zero system. The console, that cool gold effect that happens in the series when the Zero's communicating with Hero. I couldn't wait to get to this part. First, we're going to go and make a mold of both the console and the chair. After that, we're going to go ahead and carve out the console and the display monitors on that's attached to the chair. But we also want to make sure we got our Hito painted, because the way this thing's built, you have to install the pilot first and then just build around them, because you can't remove them once it's done. So just a bit of a heads up. At this point, you could tell I was having too much fun with this to go the extra mile of finding the Zero system, the way that the console looks, and then rescaling it down so that we can print it out and attach it to the piece. You obviously don't have to do this, but I mean, it was just too much fun. I mean, go hard or go home, right? Now that we have the monitors and the Zero system installed with our LEDs, we're going to go ahead and add the search eye that sits in the chest of the Gundam. To make this model even more spicy, we're going to add LEDs to the machine cannons so that we can really recreate those different scenes from the film. So from here on out, it gets a bit difficult because we have to cram a ton of wires and circuits into a small area, which means wire management will be your best friend. So please move with caution. For the torso, we'll be using a flickering circuit and a breathing circuit. One will control the machine cannons and the other will control the Zero system. But make sure you conduct plenty of LED testing just to make sure everything's working the way it's supposed to. Now that we've installed our flickering circuit for the machine cannons, we're going to move to the opposite side and install the breathing circuit for the Zero system. We're going to also add 3 female microconnectors. One will be for the wings, but the other 2 will be for the arms. And we're going to place them inside of a heat shrink so that we can have them retract into the body as we need to. For this step, we're going to go ahead and condense the 3 female connector cables into one, which will take the 6 wires and turn them into 2. For the last step, we're going to go ahead and take our breathing circuit and connect it to the head and the Zero system monitors. Once that's done, now it's time to neatly pack all of the different wires and circuits into the torso so that we can start to close off this section of the body. One other thing, so that the chest piece fits properly, we want to shave off the little lip so that everything would fit together comfortably. Now it's time to add our primary switches that will control the entire model, and we'll house them in the back skirt. It's the only place left with sufficient space that works to our benefit. The first control that we're going to install will be a 3-way slide switch. This will control the LEDs for the Zero system, switching the Gundam from just static green to pulsing green, along with the console and the cockpit as well. We're going to drill holes into these parts and take our cables from the torso and bring them inside. And for the machine cannons, we're going to use a 2-way switch, slide on and off, basic function, so we can either have our machine cannons on or off. Last but not least, we're going to go ahead and add our final 3 micro female connector ports. 2 will be for the leg connection, and the third one will be for our primary external connection point. And we're going to connect all of our cables into this one section. But you want to make sure that you do it in the correct order, because we want our LEDs to maintain their separate functions with the switches and so on. Now that we have all of our micro connectors, circuits, switches all installed, now we're going to go ahead and clean up the cables. We're going to shorten them a bit so that everything can fit comfortably. There's more than enough room in this particular area, so you don't have to worry. But even still, you want to make sure everything is clean. Yeah, we're back 3D printing again, but I wanted to improve upon the machine cannons from the torso. I mean, the flickering light that we have it's good, but let's take it a step further. And what I want to do is create a muzzle flash that's detachable, allowing us to have options on how we want to display the model. To build the muzzle flashes, we can't only use the 3D printed results that we're going to get. Reason being is because the points are somewhat brittle and they'll break off. Like the rest of the part is fairly strong, but the tips are in danger of breaking. So to deal with that problem, we're going to go ahead and recast the 3D printed part. So it'll pretty much be 3D print first, then make a mold and do a resin cast, and we're going to use the resin cast as our final production piece. And the reason for all of this is so that the muzzle flash, it's easy to handle now. The part is sturdy, it's flexible, not too flexible where the paint will crack, but flexible enough to where it can be a little rough with it, and we don't have to worry about the very tips of the spikes on the muzzle flash breaking. There's really nothing to making the beam sabers. We're gonna follow the same rinse and repeat process that we use to create the twin buster rifles. So the only materials that we'll be using is just an LED and 1mm micro connector. And that's it. I will say the beauty part about the micro connector is that it actually provides a tighter grip on the beam saber, because the peg that comes with the beam saber, it's no good. It's a no bueno for the Wing Zero, or at least I'm not a fan of it. But at least this way, it's a tighter grip and it reinforces it, just like the rifles I built earlier. For the end of this build, I wanted to do something special for the Gundam Wing 30-year anniversary, and I said, hey, why not? Let's go ahead and build the cloak for Wing Zero from the manga Frozen Teardrop. So just to let you guys know, I have no sewing capability whatsoever, so I had to go ahead and enlist my wife's help on this. Yeah, I tried my absolute best, and I just can't sew. You know, maybe with a little bit more time I could probably pick the skill up, but at the moment it's a no-go for me. And with that, I will see you guys in the next build. Also, thanks for watching.